From the ancient forests and shores of the Susquehanna River in Lancaster County come tales of an ape-like creature that date back to the time of the Susquehannock Indians that once lived here. The creature is known as the Albatwitch, a name derived from Pennsylvania Dutch German to mean escaping elf. The Indians drew depictions of it. The settlers described encounters with it, and sightings have been reported up to recent years. What is this creature? Is it still there? Simply an escaped primate? And has one been captured already? The annual Albatwitch Festival features authors, artists, researchers, and all things Halloween each year. The event included lecturers that indicated sightings as recent as 2002. Records show that the Pennsylvania Dutch moved into Lancaster County somewhere around 1709. They then began moving into the western end towards the Susquehanna River right around 1726. The Susquehannock Indians were already established in this area at that time, as they were being pushed further south away from the Iroquois Nation. As the Dutch Germans began to trade with the Susquehannock Indians, they began to hear stories of the little people in the area woods. But the settlers at this time actually indicated that the Susquehannock Indians actually had a depiction of that Albatwitch, or an ape-like figure, on their war shield. Many Native American tribes in North America tell stories of little people and larger hairy beasts. A common theme throughout their stories indicate that the large hairy beasts typically avoid humans, but if you see the little people, run. Arapaho and Cheyenne tribes call them Hesasitahi. They are said to have superhuman strength. The Shoshane tribe calls them Nemeragar. The Shoshane storytellers say that they have power to turn themselves invisible, while others say they are hard to spot simply because of their incredible speed. Most versions of the story indicate that they were destroyed in a war with the Arapahos and other allied tribes. The Crow tribe calls them Nirumbi. Described as goblin-like beings with sharp teeth, behavior ranges from stealing objects to stealing children or mutilating animals. The Chippewa, Mohican, Wampanoag, and other southern New England tribes call them Pukwudgie, or person of the wilderness. Described as dangerous creatures who may play harmless tricks, but are just as likely to steal children or commit deadly acts of sabotage. Columbia, Pennsylvania was settled in 1724 by John Wright. Wright was a Quaker from Lancashire, England, and established a ferry crossing the Susquehanna River in 1730. The town was called Wright's Ferry at the time, but in 1754, Samuel Wright named the town Columbia in honor of Christopher Columbus. Both the English Quakers and the Dutch Germans brought with them a long history of mythology and folklore surrounding elf-like creatures. During the late 1800s, Chickies Rock was a popular picnic location, and a trolley transported people from Columbia to the area. Visitors would return telling stories of creatures with reddish-brown hair approximately 4 to 5 feet tall, coming out of the trees and stealing apples. They were said to eat the apples and throw the cores back at the terrified picnickers. These trolley trips eventually ended in tragedy. On August 9, 1896, after returning from Chickies Rock, the trolley derailed and dropped off a 30-foot embankment, killing 6 people, injuring 68. In 1920, Swiss oil geologist Louis de Loys and his men were on the third year of their expedition in the heavily forested region of the Venezuelan and Colombian border. They were searching for oil. De Loys and his crew were resting near the Tara River, deep in the jungle, when two creatures suddenly stepped out of the woods, screaming and shaking branches. They appeared to be large monkeys. They walked upright, broke off several branches, and began waving them like weapons. The men grabbed their guns and fired at the more aggressive-looking male, but killed the female. The wounded male disappeared into the forest. De Loys and his crew had never seen monkeys this large. They originally planned on taking the carcass with them, but it was a devastating journey back out of the jungle, and the body never made it. Only 4 of the original expedition members survived. The only surviving evidence of the primate was one photo that De Loys placed in his notebook. The current understanding is that this primate is a spider monkey, but there have been many alternative views on this, including from the so-called father of cryptozoology, Bernard Heuvelmans, who covered this case in his 1958 book, On the Track of Unknown Animals. Even Agent Mulder had the Loys Ape hanging on his wall. So what is the Albatwitch? English, German, or Native American folklore? A local legend to keep the spirit of mystery and wonder alive? The truth is out there.